could have predicted. The scale of the tragedy about to
Total
unfold.
homeless population reached a record high, with over 2 million individuals experiencing homelessness.
From its previous mission, ICE agents in cities where
the U.S. military over the weekend striking back.
You're in this constant state of exploration.
Constant act of looking for things, but never settling on anything.
The United Nations calls the largest crisis of its kind in the world.
His name, right, Iblis, comes from Ablasa. What's Ablasa? To despair. Iblis is the one who despaired. Right? That's the trick. The trick is to get you to give up. There's a line of poetry that said that the world is nothing more than the translation of divine speech. And what you have to do is you have to learn the words, right? Trying to learn how to read. Everything that's out here is a word. But you have to learn the vocabulary. And you have to learn the grammar, right? The rules of speech. And you have to learn the syntax. Then you can figure out how to respond. Otherwise, you're just screaming at each other. Like something's being said to you and you don't understand. It's like somebody speaking a language that you don't understand. You're like, what? That's what's happening out here.
For me personally, it's the water and the massiveness of the oceans helps you to not then be sort of centered on all your problems and everything that's, you know.
Do you want me to all left the house and they went for a 3-hour walk out in nature. And that's where they got inspiration, that's where they problem solved. It wasn't at their drawing table, it was outside. And I think we give that very little attention.
We connect to the nature. The nature is compatible, whether it's food, water, environment, it's all connected and compatible with our body.
There's so much on my mind. I'm feeling anxious. Life is very stressful and there's always things that we're going to be really overwhelmed with. Being in nature just makes you realize that you're part of this bigger world, and I think that's really important for people who might feel disconnected from their communities or from their families or whatever else. You're just feeling off balance.
Your jam? Yeah, I know. No, and so I mean, my own background academically is environmental studies. I learned that even in Islam, and the example that we have from our Prophet, from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was something that was already present in Islam. Knowing, okay, this is a part of my deen anyway, and now I'm studying it here, in an academic way.
Right.
منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. From it, we created you. To it, we return you. And from it, we will resurrect you another time. Everything that is created, we know, glorifies Allah. And so, as we spend time in nature, we get to look at this creation that nothing could have made other than Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. When we connect stronger to God, we know that we are more resilient in being able to understand some of the trials and tribulations that every single person is going to go through. The harmony that we have with nature, we are one and the same. And this is something that if we spend more time with, it can really just strengthen our relationship with our Creator, which when that relationship is strong, our relationship with His creations is also strong.
I'm trained as a social worker. We really look at things in a systems way. So we don't look at a person as an individual, we look at a person in their environment. And we have to look at all the different pieces that are impacting a person's mental health, their wellness. A lot of that has to do with kind of their maybe social interactions, their time spent in solitude, their time spent in nature. So all of these different things can affect a person's mental health and wellness.
When you smell black sage, is a property called cineol, clarifies your mind, and it also is really good for your airways. You're breathing better and you're clearing your mind. Same exact thing with white sage. This is our ecosystem. Our coastal sage scrub ecosystem is loaded with sages. And it's doing that for you. It's mentally clearing you. We're here at a mental health conference. What do you think the number one root cause issue is of all other mental illnesses? Creativity. What brings about creativity? What do you need working over here to do all that? You need mental clarity. So 7 things. 1, you can see reality accurately. 2, we can distinguish thoughts from facts. 3, you're able to identify what you feel and why. 4, you know what matters most. 5, you recognize what is within your control. Number 6, you can hold competing emotions without being ruled by one of them. And number 7, you can make decisions that are aligned with your values. So we have to understand these 7 things. Because again, the root cause of a lot of things is not having mental clarity. We're not able to navigate properly, and so all these things start to build up on us. We spend so much time and effort and resources inside of building this. And all you had to do the whole time was go outdoors. All you had to do was jump in the ocean. All you had to do was go on a hike.
What do you think this grass is called? Snake in the grass. Rattlesnake grass. Yeah. Yeah. I know that when the wind blows, they'll make like a little bit of a sound. You know what its function is.
Clean the air.
Yes. Yep. Got it. So, old man's beard. Sometimes it would look like it's a parasitic wasp, but it's actually an indicator of clean air in this area.
Growing up in Alexandria, Egypt, I greeted the Mediterranean every morning. And I can see the current environment that we're in today. Although there's so many benefits, we have so much access to so many things. I can call my family in Egypt anytime. These are all great blessings. But at the same time, I miss solitude sometimes. I kind of long for those opportunities where we can just be and not worry so much about doing.
And I know I sound like a broken record when I say it's the smartphones and the social media. But honestly, man, like, can you imagine, like, I'm scrolling right now, or doom scrolling as the youth call it, right? And I just saw something about the genocide. And I'm like I'm not even angry anymore, because I'm just like, either I'm numb or I'm just like, God, how long is this gonna go on for, right? And then, you know, I see something about Bitcoin dropped to like 62K. Scroll one more, and man, Trump now is again threatening Iran. Scroll one more, something comes up about the shooting at ICSD. You remember about the communal grief that we're feeling here in San Diego. I just went through 6 different emotions.
Absolutely. We are constantly seeking quick hits of dopamine through things like scrolling and likes, and lots of other sources too. There are ways to have long sustained positive sources of dopamine. However, they are counter to kind of what all this overstimulation is telling us to do. There are ways to kind of have a buildup of sustained happiness rather than those quick hits. It's like eating a donut versus eating a kale salad, right? So like, yes, you can eat a donut every once in a while. I indulge in that stuff often, but if you just kind of pause and pay attention to what's around you in nature, that's your kale salad. Yellow flowers up back here. Yeah. No, the ones on the hill that you see, these beautiful yellow flowers. It's an invasive. It's hypericum. We'll take care of this hypericum. At that time, it was maybe over 1 or 2 acres. Now it's covered 250 acres, this plant, and it's an invasive, and basically it takes out any of our native plants that are in that region and overtakes the whole area. They're doing different plot studies here on ways that they can effectively remove it. So they've tried grazing and burning and even chemical use. There's a plot study that they've done here. They're trying to see which is the most effective. Today, we have trash bags with us, as well as scissors, and we're going to be deadheading some of the flowers. So we'll teach you how to do that, and we'll put it in the bags, and then we'll leave the bags along the trail, and then one of our staff will come back later and pick it up. That's what all of you guys are going to be a part of. Yes?
The technology has facilitated comfort. Comfort leads to complacency. Complacency leads to weakness. Weakness leads to dependencies. This is what I'm seeing across the board. I'm seeing it especially in our youth, but I'm even starting to see it in our older generations. Do something difficult every day. Where there's sunshine, where there's water, where there's sand, where there's mountains. Spend more time with what is real. Real relationships, environment outside, you know, get back in contact with your family. Do all of those things that are real.
He once asked his teacher, why is it that when people are in nature, that somehow tranquility overcomes them and they experience a type of peace that they can't explain? His teacher said to him, all the animals and the plants and the trees, they're only capable of doing what they are created to do. And that in and of itself is healing.
To be born in nature is great. That's where creativity begins. And it's so important to take our children out and this generation out to experience that. And that's actually, it helps them grow mentally, spiritually, and psychologically in a very healthy way.
Being outdoors is not normalized. Being indoors is normalized. And we need to flip it. You can't wait till your teenagers get to that age and say, I don't know why you're in your screen all the time, let's go outside. Of course they're not going to. They don't have the resilience anymore. They're used to the same exact temperature. And so with that, I ask Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala to please bless our community and allow us to spend more time outdoors. Jazakallah khair for your time, and may Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.